Hello, good morning. My name is Lise Colucci, and I am one of the life coaches at queenbeing.com, where we help you to discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. Good morning to everyone who is here or watching this later on. Good whatever time of day it is. So today, talk about covert narcissism. And hi, Daniel. Happy Monday. Let's talk about what that's like and what you experience and how challenging it is to explain what goes on. And then let's talk about what we can look at in ourselves to not fall into believing the patterns when people are manipulating in a covert way. I think I am totally here, so I'm stalling. There we go. No, I'm here. Okay. Hi, Karina and Daniel. So, has abuse been so covert that you can't even seem to name the issue or why what happened is so devastating? Has anyone experienced that where you can't even really name the abuse because the person doesn't appear abusive until you break it down and you see the tactics and the manipulations that go on, until you see how terrible it makes you feel, until you unwind it and see that what looks like love is actually toxic. Has anyone experienced that? Covert narcissism is, I think, super common and very hard to talk about. So I'm going to rely on you guys to give me some experiences, give me some examples. I have my notes are this long on this because I lived this. I don't really need a lot of notes, but reminding me is good. So here we go. I can relate to that with my recent interaction with a covert narcissistic father. Yeah, my ex is covert. Covert was my narcissistic experience. Absolutely. So much went on behind my back. Sorry, I read, my eyes are blurry. I had a migraine yesterday, and so my eyes aren't quite reading right. Okay. It's all good. Hi, Michelle and Leslie. Hello. All right. Let's start. So what's it like, you guys? Great accent. I can relate to that with my ex covert narcissist, my downstairs neighbor. I am, overwhelmed by the amount of narcissists and unhealthy people in my life. Let me talk about that real quick first. Okay. So sometimes the behaviors, I'm not saying they aren't narcissists. They probably are. If you experience them, we can spot them. We know what it's like, right? And also, a lot of people just don't have very good relational skills. We don't know how to relate to one another and to operate without putting some of these tactics out there. Covert narcissism is like, to me, it reminds me a lot of passive aggressive behavior, where people who aren't narcissists also can be passive aggressive, but a lot of narcissists definitely are. So it's the toxic behavior that matters, right? And we need to stay away from it. Hi, Trinity Fire. And Daniel saying zero character, messaging numerous other men, cheating, made the cheating my fault, tons of passive aggressive messaging. Yes, the passive aggressive undertones, right? Or the hiding and it's like they make it look like nothing's the matter. And yeah, we'll go into that. Let's find examples so that we can go on with this. Yes, I had to remember what a narcissist did to me to realize it was abuse. Exactly. You have to remember what it is and trace it back. And their form of gaslighting tends to be such a quick flip so that you actually believe, you fall into their emotions often. A lot of covert narcissists are the more vulnerable type that make you think they have empathy. They'll flip it so that we enter their emotional world so fast that we don't see what's coming, and then the gaslighting hits. Does that make sense? It's crazy making. It's yeah. So what are we saying here? Diversion, conversations during arguments that never went deep. Oh my gosh. Yes. Like, you want to talk about a topic. You want to talk about whatever the topic is, and then they keep it on this surface level, always pulling it back to some word salad or some topic that's unrelated but sort of a tangential thing, and then they blame you for being tangential, and then the whole thing's about how you are so tangential that you can't stick to this topic, and that they're confused and lost, and now they don't know what they're talking about, and then they can't have a conversation about it, and the conversation never goes deep enough into the issue to actually resolve anything because it's all avoidance, right? Okay. Yes, but aren't they false put on emotions? Yes, they are false put on emotion. Well, Yes and no. I think they can easily manufacture emotion, or they can often go into allowing themselves to have their feelings hurt. Because what they're saying is, I think what happens is when they're doing that diversion thing where they will, or especially the more vulnerable covert will say something like, well, now you've hurt my feelings, before, when it's absolutely ridiculous, because all you did was point out something that is upsetting to you, right? And suddenly you've hurt their feelings. I think what that is I will not be accountable. I feel hurt right now because I'm being forced to be accountable. And therefore, I am going to project back onto you that you are an abusive person hurting my feelings. I think that's what happens. I don't know the mechanism for all of them. That's what I witnessed. So I do avoid conflict as well. My narcissist is mean and abusive. Well, yeah, I mean, avoiding conflict is what it's. This is the thing, is when we're in a toxic relationship, we can't have healthy communication and healthy relating. And so, of course, we avoid conflict. It's the nature of gray rocking, right? We avoid it. It's avoidance. It's avoidance with a purpose. The purpose is to de-escalate. And because it's not conflict, it's not true conflict, or it's not reciprocal debate or discussion. It's literal conflict. It's combat. Right? It's them against you. That's the problem. There is no relating with a narcissist. So, okay. Always projection. Anytime I wanted a friend time with the guys, I was automatically doing something wrong. I know it was her guilt being projected back at me. Yes. Hi, Joanne. Yes, mostly want harmony in relationships, and conflict is derailing. It is. And in a healthy relationship, even conflict can have some harmony because there's rhythm to it. Right? With a narcissist, it's all their way and it's chaotic. And that's, of course, we avoid it. It makes sense. It's healthy, I think, to avoid it, because there is no resolution unless it's cave and give in. Sansu Wellness. Hello. I'm like, I can't read the word. Okay. So that I can move forward. Well, what are you asking? Do not pull me back down so hard, like for the last day or two, so that I can move forward while being exposed. Is that even possible? I missed the first part. Oh, he gives no fucks about anything I told him, which I never should have. And right now I find a way to gray walk where, yes, of course it's possible. You keep focusing on yourself and moving forward instead of falling backwards into pattern. And yes, it's possible to stay grounded. It's challenging, and yes. Okay, hi Sue. Hi Belle, how are you? And how's the house stuff going with you? Are you getting there? Hi Bonnie. Yes, what are you saying? De-escalate is the best. Otherwise, the conflict is word salad and rage on their part. That's right. Okay, so there are some things the covert narcissist does to lure us in. All right. There's so many things we could talk about with covert narcissism, right? It's such a broad topic. You almost have to break it down into sections. But so a few things I thought of just off the top of my head, because I experienced them this weekend, not from narcissists that I know of, just from people with poor communication styles. One is the bait and switch, or the dangling of the carrot and pulling it away. The always keeping the carrot moving forward. And the bait and switch is promising you things, offering you things, and then taking it away. And it's done in a way like a more overt person would just overtly do it. They just overtly take it away and laugh with a smirk, right? But a covert person will do something like, just an example I can think of might be, let's go to dinner tomorrow. Okay. So you're okay, we'll go to dinner tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you're assuming that that's happening. And then an hour before dinner, they say, oh, something came up and I had to stay at work. It's terrible. We'll go another time. But it's not just once. It's a pattern of this, right? So they bait you in and then they take it away. It's a form of like withholding, really, where they'll offer you something and take it away, offer you something and take it away, and bait you with something else and then switch it around. Over and over. They'll dangle a carrot and pull you forward, but it's done in such a subtle way that you can't see that it's toxic. You think, I can accommodate. Now, here's the problem. We accommodate. We accommodate for people because we're people pleasers. We're empaths. We are often codependent. We are, there's something in us that's saying yes to this, right? in the beginning. I'm not talking about once you're completely trauma bonded, but and even then, if we step back and look at it, we can see where we are following the dangling carrot in front of us and not thinking for ourselves in the moment that, wait a minute, this happens every time we're supposed to go out. So this happens. And then maybe they write you like 3 days later, like you're talking or whatever. Maybe it's someone you barely know and you're talking and they say, or someone you do know, but you don't talk every day. Oh, you know what? Let's go this Saturday. And then this is a good one. This actually happened. Let's go this Saturday and blah, 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 blah. Let's do this thing. Okay, sure. Because you're thinking they probably did have a work hang up. No big deal. Whatever. I can accommodate that. No biggie. So then Saturday comes and I can't do this thing. I'm going to do something else. I'm sorry. I just can't. Okay, fine. Then what do? They text you from the thing. This actually happened. So I'm not even going to say the reply because it was nothing I can say on here. But it was basically Peter Pan, man, child, grow up. Anyway, so that is what they do. They bait you, they switch. They bait you, they switch. And it can look like playful forgetfulness. It can look like all kinds of things. We can make excuses. Stop making excuses for other people's bad behavior. That's the point. And this is for our end. This is our responsibility at a certain point in time, is to not allow that to continue as a pattern. Once or twice, it happens. We all cancel things, but you know what I'm saying? It's not something that you want to continue on with. So how stuff, going back to Belle here. I'm realizing stuff is just stuff because some of this stuff is from my parents' house and the newspapers and the story 2000. Oh dear. I want to create a home for who I am today. Good. Perfect. And keep doing that. What are we saying here? Yes. Dangles the carrot, always dangled meeting her kids in front of me, but guilted me because our kids' schedules were opposite. I was forced to sit at home when she had her kids if I went out. I didn't love her. Of course, I could have been with her and the kids. I'd have gone and spent time with all of them. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But then the covert action is that now you're feeling guilty and now you're being made to look like the one who is wrong for doing something for yourself when it should be simple. I can't have my kids. I can't hang out. You go do what you need to do. We'll see each other next week. It should be simple, right? But it's not, because they do this thing to keep you pulled into their world. That's the whole point. They want you pulled into their world all the time. All right. So another one, what other tactics do they use? Scarcity. This is a good one. Scarcity. I'm just never available. What do we do? What does a codependent person do? What does a people pleaser do? What does someone who is wanting attention or interaction or connection with another human being do? Even on a healthy level, someone that wants connection and you're trying to get to know someone, say a narc's trying to lure you in, or say a toxic person's trying to lure you in, or whatever, or you've been with them a short time and you're trying to kind of wondering what is going on, where they're just never available. They don't actually instigate communication. That's always you doing the instigating. They don't actually ask you to do things. You find yourself being the one saying, hey, want to go blah, blah, want to go do that, want to go do, you find yourself being the one to instigate everything. They're creating scarcity. They're creating a desired object, right? It's totally covert and it's totally toxic. It's not healthy, right? And so what do we do? As we have to look at ourselves and say, okay, what I'm doing is I'm seeking. They're creating a dopamine response. They're creating a seek. The dopamine response rises. When the dopamine response rises and you get the thing, the oxytocin soars, you fall in love fast. Okay, scarcity works. It's a major tactic that a covert will use. So, or someone toxic, or someone avoidant, or someone just, is that what you want for your life? Is what you start asking yourself. And this is what we have to come back to ourselves all the time. It's not just what the other person's doing. It's the way we're reacting and interacting with it. That's why we become magnets. We're not magnets. We're just people who tolerate. There's no such thing as a narc magnet, in my opinion, because the narcissist will go after anyone that's appealing. So all it means if you think you're a narc magnet is that you're appealing, okay? And they'll go after anyone appealing that has the potential for giving. the potential for beauty, the potential for exuberance, the potential for whatever it is they want in their life. That's what they're going after. And so we have to look at ourselves and say, why am I giving all this to someone who is not available to me? They're not available at all. They're doing this, either they're doing it on purpose or they're doing it through their own defense mechanism. But whatever they're doing, there's scarcity involved, and that isn't cool, right? So does that make sense? So it's looking at things and then flipping it back to yourself and saying, wait, where do I fit in here? And to be able to get away from it and keep yourself safe away from it. What are we saying here? Life after toxic relationships. Hello. What is the difference between a dismissive avoidant person and a covert narcissist? Well, a dismissive avoidant person will still have, a lot of narcissists are dismissive avoidance. All narcissists are avoidant attachment, as far as I know. Some of them are anxious avoidant. Some of them are dismissive avoidant. I mean, I don't know how much I don't know how much I understand and fully embrace the attachment theory. I like it as a tool, but I don't know that it's everything. I just think we're so complex, and there's so many reasons, and there's so many different dynamics when you put two different people together that it all changes things, right? But a dismissive avoidant person who regularly is unable to connect and they're completely dismissive of you, I think there's a high level of narcissism in narcissistic people who are that style of attachment. Often, and I have experienced a covert narcissist that was an anxious avoidant. So he was clingy and then pushing away. He pulled you in hard and then pushed you away. So a person that is just purely a dismissive avoidant can be somebody who's, it's their defense mechanism, but they may have empathy intact, the ability to have empathy for other people. They may deeply care and want to be with another person, but have the inability they don't know how to connect, and they don't know how to attach because they haven't been taught how. And because of the avoidance, apparently avoidant people, it's very difficult for them to learn how. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of trial and error and experimenting. And do you want to be that experiment? I don't know. Maybe. So does that make sense? But a narcissist will have no empathy and no accountability. Someone that is dismissive avoidant, that is working on it, that has empathy and the ability to be accountable and puts effort forward toward changing the behaviors of the dismissiveness and the avoidance, that's a different situation. So it's individual. It's very difficult. Okay. It's always difficult, but I thought I was just dealing with avoidance for at least a year, and I studied this avoidant attachment theory as much as I could. And it was only when I saw that when I tried the things that should help an avoidant person feel safe enough to be less of a push and more neutral, that it actually created more push, and it actually created more inability to connect on a level of relating, that I realized that, wait, something's missing here. And what was missing was empathy. Okay. So does that make sense? I think, yeah. Okay. It's a good question though. You can never reason with a narcissist. No, you cannot. No, there is no reasoning. There's their reason, and that's it. I've heard that it's the highest in anticipation of something. Wait, I'm lost here. I think I got lost. What? Okay, I think I'm lost here. Did I miss some stuff? I think I did. Sorry. If I missed stuff, just please repeat it if it's a question. Hi, Joanne. Buying another woman, kids, school friends, mother's a bucket of ice cream for all her kids while portraying himself as a super nice guy and withholding it all from me at home. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so cool. It's done so that the mask is so thick and heavy out there for everybody else, and then the covert flip when they are in their own space and with the person they're supposed to be caring for and loving, right? Scarcity at home, generosity for other people. Indeed. Narcissists also want admiration and power. There we go. Yes. Don't we all want a little? Someone might ask. Sure, why not? They want an absolute. They don't want an exchange of admiring one another. They don't want an exchange of shared gratitude for one another. They don't want power to be held by both people. They want absolute admiration, respect, worship, and power. I was told those words just like that. So yes, that's what they want. And although in the outside world, you would never know that's what that person wants. Whereas somebody that just that likes to be appreciated, and somebody with a high self-esteem and like, you know, maybe a boosted ego, whatever, that isn't a narcissist, might want some of those things, but it's not the same. It's the absoluteness. It's the 100% one way, one person, no listening, no actual active listening back to you and reflecting who you are and what they're saying. It's all them. They want to control you. That's it. All right. Just like that. Worship is right. Many narcs do. I mean, I think it's an interesting thing because, yeah, I'm not going to go into more. What are we saying here? I have to close this because it'll start making noise. Okay. Did it. All right. I heard how rushes in dopamine are heightened in anticipation of love or whatever thing than when you actually have it. Right. Because dopamine increases as we seek, as we hunt, as we pull the slot machine arm. Picture pulling a slot machine arm. If you've ever played slots, even if you hate gambling, even if you don't care like about gambling, if you ever do something like that, the anticipation of the noise and the jangle and the bells and whistles going off is building dopamine every single time. And then it doesn't matter how much you win, you're super excited at the end, right? And you count it and you're like, oh, it was only $10. That's okay, I won $10. I'll put it all back in. More dopamine, please. What we're seeking is dopamine. We're not seeking the money. We're not seeking the love. We're seeking the rush in our body. Okay. And we equate it with love because what happens with romantic love in particular is you have the exchange, the physical exchange where the oxytocin hits, where the oxytocin builds from the connection. And it's an addiction. It's what bonds you to someone. Oxytocin is present in any exchange where there's physical contact and the desire for connection. Those two things together are powerful. I mean, you picture that's why we fall in love instantly with a baby, our own baby in particular. The oxytocin is huge, and it's always present when you're holding a baby. That's why you get relaxed, unless you don't like to do that, right? Because it has to be something that you want and you desire, and you have it. But it's the oxytocin is the bonding thing. The dopamine is the escalating drive. Okay, it's our drive, and it creates that. So if they're withholding, and if they are the scarcity tactic, the bait and switch, all of those things that they do in the beginning, or maybe not in the beginning, but later on, whenever they do it, they are increasing your dopamine, which is then met with I don't think they know they're doing this on purpose, but it's what happens, right? And it's a cycle. It also increases theirs. So it increases, they like it too, of course, right? And it gives them the feeling, most likely. I would assume that oxytocin rush to a narcissistic person feels like the perfection of all that they have. It feeds their ego. You know what I'm saying? I would assume instead of it bonding them to the other person, it bonds them to the experience of self in a way that's not healthy, in a way that's ego-based. I don't know. It's just a thought. Ah, dear sweet dopamine, working to reduce my dependency on dopamine. I know, it's so good though. And there are healthy ways of doing it, like exercise and dance and doing things that are good for you and walking in nature and drive towards something that you're trying to attain in your life. There's healthy ways to experience dopamine and to use it on a daily basis, right? Hi, Butterfly Mama. And they love drama. Yes, they do. It gives them a high as well. Right, it does. Right. They love the drama. I hate drama is not actual. I think that's a bait to give me some drama. All right. Gym exercise has been a great one for me. Yeah, it is. Plus, let's see. Okay. Narcissists think they're mini gods. I think they are the ultimate, right? I have a serious issue with the narcissist. He told me Saturday he hates me, to look at me, to hear my voice. He prays each night I'll stop breathing in my sleep and die. Tell me again why you can't get away. That he would do. He told me of choosing my coffin. Okay, love, you need to get out of there. Like right now. You need to get out of there. He's projecting something really dangerous. And he's telling you, how can you get out of there, Belle? You need to get out and away from him and get a restraining order. Seriously. He has me concerned at this point, okay? For more than just your emotional state. Okay, you guys, that's not covert at all, is it? That's just downright evil, right? It's very scary. So Belle, what do you need to get out of there? What's going on with keeping him in your life? I don't know the whole background, and you don't have to say it here, obviously, but okay. So what else with the coverts, guys? I'm sorry, I got thrown by Belle here. I'm trying to think of I don't know how to help you to get out of there. And I want to pluck you out and just put you on another country so you're away. Did it get worse when you started pointing out your awareness of narcissistic abuse? Yes, I don't know what her answer is, but I agree with that. It can totally get worse. This is why we just don't tell them. We gray rock and we go on with our life and try and diffuse it for as long as we can until we can get out of there. So I'm a little thrown now. Covert. Talk about coverts, guys. Okay, wait. I cannot get away because I will lose all medical care, which I would end my life. Okay, so it's financial and support for your life. Okay. Start planning on things you can do from home to work. Try to find something. You need to get out of there as fast as you can. Yeah. And keep like, I like what Bonnie's saying here, as long as you're moving in the direction of freeing yourself from that bad news. Yeah. I hate that the resources are so sparse for this kind of thing. And it's tricky to know how to give direction with practical stuff, you know? So, and he doesn't live with you, right? I mean, could you keep him away by saying you have the flu or something and keeping him away for a while? Because I thought you said he lived somewhere else, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay. All right. So the covert stuff, let's talk about this a little bit more, unless Belle has more she wants to talk about. So I think a useful thing here is to see when you are feeling like, how I started this was, do you ever feel like you can't describe the abuse and like you can't even name the issue of what happened? I think it's important to look at that as a giant red flag for your life, that something's very, very off in a situation, and that you and back away from a bit so that you can actually see what's going on and start looking at things like, read up on gaslighting. The covert narcissist is usually a master gaslighter. They're very good at it and very subtle and very, like, I can't remember any name calling, nothing would look like abuse if I just told you the story. You know what I mean? Unless you witnessed the whole thing. it would all look like somebody being confused and befuddled and not, and then having a reaction and shutting down. It would look like a little bit of avoidance. It wouldn't look so bad. But in reality, it was the most crazy making experience of my life. And I'm pretty good at relating and understanding where people are coming from, and to not be able to do that because the person isn't being forthcoming. It's kind of, it's a lot. So we have to look at our reaction to it and see what are we trying to get from this in order to get away? Like a lot of times we're stuck in it because we're trying to figure them out. Well, if you start looking at trying to figure yourself out, then you have a way out. Does that make sense? And then I know, like for Bells, it's different because it's very practical, but maybe there are things about you feeling dependent on someone, I don't know, that you can look at so that you can find your independence. Okay. And I know that practical wise is really difficult. Finding ways to earn money it's so much of they could keep us with financial abuse so badly, right? All right. Okay. I'm kind of frozen here today, you guys. All right. He'd have tears in his eyes saying he thought I'd cheat on him, but I never did anything of the sort, right? Because they're projecting, right? It was really odd. It's really odd, and it's really hard to talk about covert narcissists unless we break it down. Okay. What are we saying here? I do feel that way. I have written out the story and make little videos on my phone or notepad, but the story takes time to tell it to make sense. Okay. Financial abuse is very much one of the isolation tactics narcissists use. It sure is. It's, yeah. It's because it puts it into the realm of the practical world. It's a physical thing, right? It's a physical thing. It's an actual real life. It's a in life thing that you can't escape from without an enormous amount of push in a direction or taking huge risks. It's scary and it's a lot. It takes away everything, right? It does. And people get out of it all the time. Okay. So piece by piece. I didn't think that it was that bad, nasty, but I truly don't think he'd hurt me. I think he'd made me realize how evil he really is because he was angry. Okay, don't assume he won't hurt you, and take as many measures as you can to protect yourself. All right? Never assume someone who says something like that is not actually thinking that. All right? That's where we are hiding ourselves from what could be the truth. Take people's word for what they're saying. And I don't know, Belle, finding a way out is super important. Can you see that? And what's the 2-year thing? Why 2 years? You've said that before. We need an underground railroad under the ocean. Right? We do, yeah, to get out. And I don't know what resources are in your area because I don't know the country you're in at all. So I don't know how to offer there. But I will encourage you to continue looking for resources and ways out, and take that can't, turn it around to I will find a way, and just keep that as a thought. I will find a way out instead of I can't. Okay. That's at least changing the focus to something that is doable, even if it's really hard or you don't know yet. I don't know what the answer is, but it'll come. It gives you motion forward instead of being stuck with them, at least in your energy, right? And keep looking, keep looking for resources. Okay, I didn't think, let's see, where are we? Okay, all right. Anything else you guys want to talk about today about covert narcissism or anything else? Let me know. I have to end pretty soon here. I have an appointment in 15 minutes, so I have to go real soon, but I'm going to read, see if there's anything else I missed. Hi, DC guy. How are you doing? All right. Okay, nothing else today. Everyone's silent now. It got quiet, and I'm quiet, and I'm out. I'm out. I'm out of the topic right now. My mind is like reeling, trying to figure out ways to help get Belle some resources. And this isn't the time for that because like there's nothing I can do from this very second. But all right. I think I'm going to end. And I think we'll be back tomorrow. Oh, no contact. Yes. Any topics you guys want to talk about tomorrow or this week, let me know. You're welcome. And you're welcome, Daniel. What are we saying? You're welcome, Joanne. Oh, there we go. Okay. Any topics you guys want to talk about this week, let me know in a comment, like a main comments. If you put it in chat, I might see it and I might not, but put it in the main comments. I try to read through the chat, but yeah, that's it. Okay. So I will see you guys next time. If you have not hit subscribe to this channel and hit the thumbs up if you like these topics and you want more of them, then I know what's going on. All right. If you would like text notification of when I go live, text me 33222, put the word Lise Live, LISELIVE, and hit send, and I will put it as one word. I will text you about 10 minutes before going live. And that's it. If you need information, if you need help, if you need coaching help or links to where to get coaching help, go over to queenbeing.com and look us up. We're over there and there's lots of information, so much information on every topic related to narcissists and narcissistic abuse and healing. So head on over there. Also, if you want information on group coaching, you can see I put a link in the main comment section of every video. And that is an ongoing thing. You can join anytime. I just make sure you get, if you come in the middle of the month, then we carry it through to the next month, but you can join anytime. It's a great group of support for it's peer support as well as coaching support and weekly coaching meetings that are private with whoever's in the group. So I think that's it. You guys take care. Have a lovely Monday, and I will see you. I'll be thinking of you, Belle, and trying to think of things to help you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.